Okay, so
Welcome, everybody.
welcome
Just a quick
everyone.
note for streaming onto YouTube Live. For all of y'all who don't have your cameras on, we have hidden non-camera participants, so you won't be shown on the YouTube Live. If you have your camera on, you'll be on there. All right, so welcome everybody to our ETF MD's 1-year anniversary. We're so excited to be celebrating, our first year anniversary with all of you guys, and just to see all of you guys one more time.
All right, so let's get started. Welcome to ETF MD's 1-year anniversary event. I'm Kathleen Lee, the president of Elevate the Future Maryland. Also present with me are Rosemary, the vice president of ETF MD, Esther, director of operations, Alina, director of tech, Jessica, director of business, Micah, director of HR, and Adeline, director of outreach. We're here today to celebrate the service and accomplishments of our staff and students, and I'm so excited to recollect our first year's memories and to reminisce about them in the next hour. Tonight we'll be looking at a presentation of our year in review about our achievements, as well as looking through a scrapbook commemorating the people who have made them possible. Afterwards, I will stop streaming on YouTube Live and we'll play a Kahoot centered around our organization and its community in the Zoom. To begin, I wanted to share a bit of insight on ETF MD's founding. An entire year from today, I know, it's crazy how fast everything has moved. Arjun, the executive co-founder of Elevate the Future, reached out to me with no prior contact and asked if I'd be interested in starting a branch of the organization in Maryland. Although I never spoken with him before, the mission of the organization to empower youth in business and computer science resonated deeply with me. As a student, I had never been exposed to business or computer science education until late in high school. These subjects are now ones I'm intending to major and minor in college. The lack of education, especially in Maryland schools surrounding these crucial subjects, is astounding. According to a 2017 report from the Department of Education, only 7 out of 24 Maryland school districts require a standalone course for high school graduation, and no middle school has a course dedicated to financial literacy at all. And so, I decided to initiate a Maryland branch of ETF. First recruiting my vice president, Rosemary, then directors Esther, Micah, and Alina. Our first semester alone, we hosted 35 free live class sessions and 3 guest speaker events with 67 total staff members working 1,335 service hours for ETF MD. With our growing student-run organization, we recruited a few more directors, Alina, Adeline, Jessica, and Rebecca, who have contributed immensely to our development. Directors, thank you so much for all the work you have put into our organization. And of course, thank you Rosemary, who always has ETF MD's back. She handles pressure so gracefully and has helped lead fundraisers and volunteer teams through the exceedingly challenging years that have been 2020 and 2021. To our students, whose intellect has continued to shock me, from their beautifully coded web pages from a web design HTML CSS course to their polished company pitches, complete with customer segmentation, unique value propositions, and competitive analysis. Your passions are the reason why this organization exists. Thank you for your dedication to your education. And last, but definitely not least, thank you to the parents of ETF MD and your dedication to your children's education and development. And to my own parents, thank you, Mom and Dad, for supporting Elevate the Future Maryland and me, for supporting my struggles, celebrating our accomplishments, and of course, helping me code the hundreds upon hundreds of student certificates. ETF MD would not be complete without you. And without further ado, let's go to our year in review. Here's to our first year.
All right, we're so excited to be sharing with you guys everything that we've been able to do for the past year, actually, yeah. So from day one, we have really been focused on sparking passions in business and computer science for the youth. Our mission, like Kathleen said, is to provide students with a fundamental business and computer science education that they need to thrive in an increasingly globalized and digitalized world.
So let's look back on this past year. We started in June 28th, 2020, and in August we hosted our first Intro to Business class, which lasted for 2 weeks, and we had 3 class sections with around 150 student registrations. A great first start. On August 26th to 28th, we had our guest speakers for business, Rachel Shifter Thibault and Dr. Douglas McDonald, who are experts in the economics and business fields. Then on September 26th of 2020, we had our first web design HTML CSS course. This lasted for 5 weeks, and we had 4 different class sections. And then in November, we had our first fundraiser. Thank you guys so much. And to everyone who supported our first textbook fundraiser, we're so grateful for your donation and your support. On November 1st, we had Kendall Price speak as a computer science guest speaker. On November 29th, we publicly launched our community Discord, which has now been a central platform for everyone to bond with each other and learn. On January 9th, we began our first Introduction to Python class. Python had 8 classes with 3 different sections. And then on March 6th, we held our Lemonade Challenge workshop. This was a business incubator competition and pitch challenge in which middle school students were challenged to create their own socially impactful business and pitch it to judges for a cash prize of $100. This challenge lasted 6 weeks, and we had 3 different workshop sessions. On April, we started our Plant Sprout fundraiser. We have raised over $300 from our Plant Sprout fundraiser, and thank you again to all our patrons who have supported us. On April, we had our big competition day for our Lemonade Business Incubator Challenge. We had 6 honorable mentions and 1 grand prize winner. On June 21st, we had our first Java Summer Series class, which is still going on right now, and we have 10 different lessons, and the entire course is 5 weeks long. And of course, today, June 28th, 2021, is our 1-year anniversary. So let's go on to a greater in-depth look about 2020.
So this was one of our first classes, the Introduction to Business class, where we discussed and taught topics on the basics of economics, everyday finance, business factors, and business plans. We had a 24-member team with 10 instructors and 4 education board members, and 139 total registrants, 12 class sections, and 18 hours of instruction. So here's some pictures of our classes.
And after that course was over, we hosted 2 guest speakers. The first was Rachel Shifter Thibault, who is a businesswoman. She's launched 2 of her own businesses. And during the event, she gave advice on how students can enter the field of business and how they can launch a successful company. And she also fielded questions from students who were interested in starting their own companies. And then later we had Dr. Douglas McDonald, who is an economist and an economics teacher at Richard Montgomery High School. And he discussed the fundamental economics principles and related them to real world situations and market fluctuations. Overall, these 2 events had 147 registrations, and throughout them, we believe that students learned a lot.
So our first comp sci class was in HTML and CSS, and we had a 25-member team with 17 instructors and 8 education board members. In total, we had 100 registrants for this class. We held 20 classes, and it was about 30 hours of instruction. Sorry, is there?
We had a lot of fun in this class, and by the end of a couple of weeks, all the students were able to code a final project. And you can see here that there were cats everywhere. There's a book in there somewhere, and everything that the students love to do.
Rosemary, we can't see your new slide.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're good. Okay.
Oh no, sorry.
We're back on track. All right. So after that class was over, we hosted another guest speaker. This was Kendall Price. She is a student at the University of Maryland who's studying computer engineering. She's also held internships with the Naval Research Laboratory and with Boeing. And during this event, she discussed real-world applications of computer science and also gave the students inspiration about what paths they can pursue in order to eventually take on careers in computer science. And overall, this event had 46 registrants.
So for the very first time, we actually had our first fundraiser back in November, and we raised $172 from our very first textbook fundraiser. And we're so thankful to the community that supported us and bought books from us, the 21 books and 12 patrons that we had to raise this very, very successful fundraiser for us. And then after that, it was 2021. New year, new us.
So we started out 2021 with another coding course. So we had an introduction to Python class with 128 registrants. And in total, it was about 24 hours instruction with 24 classes. And to make this all possible, we had a 15-member team of 10 instructors and 5 education board members. So our classes were mainly lecture, and then we had the kids, of course, do a lot of interactive activities and programming with their own practice in breakout rooms. And so they learned from coding themselves, and it wasn't that boring, hopefully. So when we were learning, we also had Kahoots, which I think Rosemary skipped over. Yeah, sorry. We have all of the Kahoots. We had Kahoots at the end of each class to create a little bit more of a competitive environment, and it was friendly competition. Of course, we had a lot of close ties for first place. It was really fun.
Yep, and because of those Kahoots, we were able to award for the very first time prizes to our outstanding students. So pictured here, you can see a couple of them. They're so cute. They were amazing. They worked their butts off for these. And we gave them free Raspberry Pis for all of their hard work. And we were really, really proud of everything that they've been able to do.
So our Lemonade Challenge was our business pitch competition where over the course of 6 weeks, we taught students how to create business pitches and challenge their creativity to develop ideas for products that would help make the world a better place using lemons. After the workshops, the students presented their pitches and competed for a $100 grand prize. We had a total of 151 registrations, 38 teams, 18 classes, and an 18-member team of 14 instructors and 4 education board members. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are some moments during our lessons where we had interactive activities and we watched and examined examples of pitches from real startups. And these are some pictures of the actual competition day where we had students present their final pitches. And these are our winners. We had 6 honorable mentions. This is one of them, Lemon Tray D. They had a really amazing pitch about their organization that developed eco-friendly foodwares to reduce the amount of plastic waste within the food industry and aim for a green future. And then these are our grand prize winners for the $100 grand prize. Their company was called Lemons for a Cause, where they had a volunteer service that was incentivized with lemon pastries.
And just this past spring, we were able to hold our second fundraiser, our plant fundraiser, which we were so excited to hold. And it was a lot of fun too. In total, we actually earned $321, which is mind blowing to think about. With 22 buyers, we sold almost 95 plants, I think, more or less, and 93 total donations from our 8 beautiful patrons. And we sold over 9 types of sprouts, from cucumbers, tomatoes, and I think we had pumpkins in there too. And we're just so thankful for everybody who made this possible.
I'm so thankful for that fundraiser. I learned how to garden, and we grew every plant at home and by hand, so thank you for supporting us. So now we're going to be transitioning on to some general organization statistics. So far, we've created 7 business and CS curriculums. These were the curriculums that fueled our classes, like the Java, HTML business courses that we held. They're either all from scratch or done based off of the draft that the main ETF branch gave us. In total, we had 42 curriculum days created, made by 64 instructors and education board members. In total, we had 120 staff members on 7 teams, so this included business, computer science, marketing, outreach, and finance teams. We also had donations from supporting parents, thank you so much, and 187 total graphics created by our amazing marketing team.
And wow, it's been a wild ride. So we have reached students in 14 US states, students in the US Virgin Islands, and Canada, India, Korea, China, the Philippines. It's been so much fun being able to teach all of these students, even in all these different time zones. And it is just mind-blowing to think about. Yeah, and we raised in total over $500, almost $600 in 1 year. I think that's crazy to think about. We've impacted 838 students, and from our lovely staff and all of our members of our teams, we've completed 2,152 service hours as of May, not even including June. And just one last thank you to all of you guys. If you're here on Zoom with us or you're watching from YouTube, whether you're a student, parent, staff, even to all of these execs here, thank you so much for being behind us. And of course, within all the hard work that we've done, it's really all of y'all, all of our community that have been the driving force behind our organization. You've been the backbone, and we honestly could not have asked for more from you guys. And we really wanted to celebrate all of you guys from our community. So Adeline, take it away with our ETF MD scrapbook.
Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to kind of a more casual and fun part of ETF and get to see our more informal side. So this is our 1 year scrapbook, and it's more people focused than the year in review that we just went over. Okay, so we're going to start off with superlatives for all of our executive board members.
So for Kathleen, from our other executives, we've given her the superlatives most likely to become president, most likely to start a company, and most likely to go a week without sleeping.
I can't be present because I'm not born in the US.
I just want to attest to the fact that she can go a week without sleeping. That lady does not have a sleep schedule, so.
The work never stops.
Okay, so next we have Rosemary, our vice president. We have most likely to become a CEO, most enthusiastic, which I think you could definitely tell from this live stream right now, and also most likely to grow a veggie farm in her future home.
Next, we have Esther, our Director of Operations. So she's most likely to start a plushie business and go viral on TikTok and Etsy for them, most likely to laugh during a meeting, and most likely to binge Netflix for 36 hours straight.
Okay, and then for Micah, our Director of Human Resources, we have most likely to start a tomato garden. It's kind of similar to Rosemary's earlier. And then most likely to delete her entire internet presence, and most likely to give a TED Talk.
Micah and I are the friendly neighborhood plant ladies, so you can do that together.
We are. Next, we have Serena, our Director of Marketing. She is most likely to get 5s on all her APs. Good for her. Also, most likely to move to California and most likely to become Instagram famous.
Now we have Jessica, our Director of Business, who was voted to be most likely to vibe with a tree, have the most aesthetic Instagram account, and most likely to become famous on Pinterest.
For Adeline, our beautiful Director of Outreach, she is most definitely the most likely to go on a 30-minute midnight stag run. I have experience. Most likely to start her own company, and most likely to become a world-renowned therapist because oh my God, Adeline is just the best person.
Next, we have Rebecca, our Director of Finance, who's most likely to become a pro figure skater. She's amazing on the ice, most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse, and most likely to shake hands with the president.
That girl is organized. So if she's gonna outlive anybody, she's gonna outlive a zombie.
Next, we have Alina, our Director of Tech, who is most likely to work at a Silicon Valley tech startup, best person to share a deserted island with, and most likely to meet Elon Musk.
So over the course of our time as Elevate the Future Maryland, we've held multiple community events to bond with and to learn more about our students as well as our staff.
Okay, so our first community night was in October of 2020, where we were able to get to know a lot of our team members, and we also played a lot of games.
In December, we played Among Us as well as many other games. We often have a variety of different games so that there's something for everyone to do.
Here are just some screenshots of Among Us. And then in March, we had another game night and we played Scripio, Among Us, and also Cause Against Humanity.
We've watched a lot of movies and shows together. This is our April community night where we watch Soul. And then the next slide will show that we watched True Beauty together in the Discord.
And speaking of Discord, our Discord is used to help students. We have a channel in which students can ask questions and then get answered by instructors or other people who know about what they're asking about. But it's also a place to have fun, whether we're listening to music or like as shown here, or playing games or just chatting about anything.
So, it's been quite a year. Thank you all for sticking with us, supporting us, and for being here. We have so many exciting things planned for the next year, and we hope you'll join us. Here's 2020! So next we're going to be moving on to some games, and I'm going to be stopping the YouTube live stream. However, I am going to be pasting our card link into the chat. So if you are interested in keeping up with ETF MD and visiting our website, our blog, Instagram page, TikTok page, joining our Discord, we'd love to have you. So go ahead and visit the link I just put into the YouTube live chat. Yes, all right, so I'm going to be ending the stream here. Thank you so much, and be sure to join the Zoom if you would like to play Kahoot and more games with us.